You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Thank you for joining me on another mental vacay on the Hello Well with Danielle podcast. I am your host, and today we are talking about it is okay not being okay. There's like this trend online that's telling everyone it's okay to not be okay. It's not that I don't agree with the statement, but I think it's hella reckless to say the statement without a disclaimer. And I think it just negates the fact that it's literally giving people permission to be permanently stuck in that feeling of grief, depression, and whatever they're going through. And so, okay, it's okay to be not okay. Now what? Like, what can I do to control this? Like, what's keeping me stuck? Like, what are the small actions I can do to create a snowball of a positive effect? So, in today's episode, allow me to be your guide to how to be okay with not being okay. Because I feel like that's what's needed. We don't need to be told it's okay to be not okay. I think what's more important and what's more realistic in helping us get to the other side of flowing is to have a guide to how to be okay and how to manage getting through from one side of the situation to the other side. But before I get into today's podcast, I want to tune in. I want us to take a moment just to really be here in this space so we can work on collectively healing together and taking this mental vacay that we all definitely need. So right now, whatever you're doing, take a moment just to kind of get still. You can close your eyes. And I just want you to start relaxing. And knowing that your breath is like a cozy blanket. It's always there for you. Inhaling deeply through your nose, opening your mouth to audibly exhale. Again, breathing in deeply through your nose, holding it slightly, and then audibly exhaling out of your mouth. Continue to breathe and feel as though everything is slowing down, giving yourself permission to get as comfortable as possible for today's mental vacay. Your breath is always ready to comfort you in all times of need, even when you don't realize that it's comforting you. It's there. It's there for you. Allowing you to relax. Take one more breath in and out. Opening your eyes if you don't have them already open. And let's begin our journey into today's mental vacay. Sometimes we're just not okay. And it is okay to not be okay. Like, I do agree with the statement. It is okay with it is okay to be okay with not being okay. It is okay to be okay with not being okay. You know, whether you're dealing with depression, you're dealing with grief, some loss, you're dealing with a difficult relationship, microaggression at a workplace. Like, we go through so many different things, whatever emotion you're going through that's got you to this point, whether it's even your kids or your loved ones, you may love them, but they may be working your last nerve. And you may be literally in a space where you've been working past your point of capacity. Sometimes we're just not okay. And that can be a lot. I mean, one of those is a lot, but oftentimes we're dealing with several of these, and that is definitely a lot. But one thing I wanted to start with this conversation is I wanted to remind you, in case in case someone needed to know this, in case this is you that needed to hear this, it's okay to be not okay because, oh my gosh, wait, you're perfectly imperfect. You're human. We're going to have bad days. There is not one person on this earth, including Oprah, including Michelle Obama, whoever you think is, Deepak Chopra. Everyone has a bad day. Everyone has moments when they're not okay. And that's what makes being okay with not being okay, okay, even more so because you're accepting that, hey, I'm human. I'm perfectly imperfect, and these moments are going to happen. What's not okay is this wellness trend that's telling everyone it's okay not to be okay, and not kind of disclaiming it to say, hey, this is kind of this false positivity situation of good vibes only. And I want you to say, screw the good vibes only at this point. When you're not okay, this is not a time to be faking it. This is not a time to be like, oh, I'm just happy, even though inside I feel horrible, I feel miserable, I feel depressed, I feel like I just can't take it anymore. This is not the time for fake positivity. This is the time for you to be real with you. This is the time to be honest with yourself. This isn't the time to be hiding your feelings. Like, you really need to step in to know yourself and listen to your body. One of the most important things I can say in this conversation is if you're feeling like you're not okay, and yes, it is okay not to feel that way, this is a great time, if you don't have one, to connect with a therapist. Sometimes we need professional help. I love my therapist. I tell you all the time, I love my therapist. My therapist is part of my support team who gets me through times when I'm not feeling okay. And I know in this community, sometimes it's looked upon like, oh, I'm strong, I don't need a therapist. Me having a therapist, you considering having a therapist, or you having a therapist doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you strong to know that I don't got this. I don't got this on my own. And oh, wait, I don't need to have this on my own because there's people out there who can professionally help you. So I want to make sure that I invite you, if you are in a space where you're not feeling okay and you are listening to your body, you're listening to yourself, and because you're being honest with yourself that you don't got this. I invite you, encourage you, plead with you to get professional help. And it's okay to have that. It's important. The other part of the whole thing of this guide that I wanted to create to help you get through these moments of when you're not feeling okay, but it is okay not to feel okay, is recognizing and accepting grace, what I call RAG. I don't know why that's the acronym that I chose, but it is. It's recognizing that you're not okay. It's recognizing that you're in this space where I don't feel good. I don't have it, or I'm beyond my capacity and I'm just struggling right now. Being able to recognize it is the first step because, again, if you can't recognize it, it's really hard to work through something, to flow through something, if you're not able to recognize it, it's even occurring. Being able to accept it being the second step. And accepting isn't saying I'm a free pass to be in victim land. It's not a free pass to wallow and go deeper into whatever you're feeling and to be like, oh, I'm accepting it. So it means that it's okay that I'm this way and I'm not talking to people. I'm not eating. I'm stress eating. I'm not taking care of my body. I'm not sleeping. No, accepting is not a free pass to be in that space. What accepting is, when you're accepting that you're not okay, it's the opposite of hiding and denying it. And it goes back to what I was saying a second ago. When you're in denial of what's going on in your life, when you're resisting that you're not okay, it's like being in a river. You're like in a river, in the water, it's rushing, and you're trying to go upstream, fighting against the current, when you really need to let go, accept that you're in this river and the water is going the other direction, and go downriver. When you're able to not be in denial and resisting and fighting what you're going through, it gives you the opportunity to actually work through it, flow through it. Because if you're in denial and you're resisting it, you're in the space where, oh, it's not happening. So I don't have anything I need to work through. I don't have anything I need to flow through. And I don't think that's where you want to be. I think that's what, in my opinion, I feel like this whole wellness trend of it's hashtag it's okay not to be okay is telling you to, act like it's not existing because it's okay. It's okay that you're not okay. So be in denial, go upstream, even though the river's trying to get you to go the other direction. And I think that's just reckless and harmful and dangerous in so many ways. And it makes me pissed off. I'm upset. I'm not even low key upset. I'm angry when I see these wellness trends of telling people it's okay to not be okay without giving you the tools of how to get past this, how to flow through this so you're not drowning in the river of life. And so that's part of the reason why I wanted to create this podcast episode is because I wanted us to have a guide to get us through the moments when we're not okay. I wanted to have a guide to know how to be okay with not being okay. So the other part of this is what I call a low diet. Whether you love to diet or not, this is one of the best diets ever because sometimes when we're not okay, your diet, it means your plate is full. It's like you've gone to your Thanksgiving's coming up and you've gone to the Thanksgiving table and you have the turkey, you have the ham, you have, the ribs because someone made ribs for some reason. You have some greens, you have some yams, you have the mac and cheese, you have the cornbread, you have the muffin, you have the biscuit, you have some, I don't know, beets, whatever it is. Imagine what that plate looks like. There is not any space to add anything else. Yet you're like, I think I want to add the green bean casserole because I think it's going to be good mixed with everything. And that's how we use our energy. We load our energy. We load our capacity with all these different things to the point where it's not going to hold. So I encourage you in these moments when you're feeling not okay to lighten the plate. Don't put everything on your plate. See, only put the things that need to be done. And only you know what truly needs to happen. We have things where we think we should be doing. So I'm asking you to include the shoulds of the things that you need to take off the plate. You need to say, today I'm going to diet. I'm avoiding the shoulds. I'm only focusing on the things that are obligations that have to happen at this time. I'm not saying put everything that has to happen on your plate right now. Put on your plate each day, each hour, each minute, what needs to occur in that exact moment. And leave the shoulds, leave all the other things that, I should be doing. Leave those off your plate. Lighten your plate, lighten your load, prioritize. So you can be in a space that allows you to flow a little bit more. Because when you're full in capacity, there's not that space to release. There's not that space to release, which reminds me, I didn't finish the rag. Recognizing, accepting goes back to the G, the grace. It's giving yourself grace in these moments of, yeah, it is okay to be okay. It is okay not to be okay. And I don't have to be shameful for feeling like I'm not okay. So it's like when people ask you, how are you doing? You don't have to do this fake, oh, I'm good. Life is amazing. Like I'm doing my thing. No, like I'm not okay right now. And I'm okay with it. But right now, things are not good for me right now. And it's not at the point of, oh my God, things are not okay. The world is ending. I need you to have pity for me. And it's validating your situation. No, that's not the grace I'm talking about. It's the grace that you're saying, I'm okay with not being okay. I'm okay with where I am and knowing that I'm have the tools, which hopefully you'll get after the rest of this podcast, to help me flow through it. And I'm in a space because, oh, wait, again, I'm perfectly imperfect and I'm human and I'm going to have these days. And I'm giving myself grace for this is a season. I had a season of amazingness. I had a season of quietness. Right now, I'm in a season of not being okay. And that's what I mean by giving yourself grace. Loading your diet The loading, the diet, the load diet is part of giving yourself grace. The other part of this is removing stressors from your life. Stressors, well, it could be anything. It could be people who are just negative. If you have people who are, are negative in your life and always like seeing the world as, oh, woe is me and da 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 da. These are the times when you may want to ghost those people. You don't have to get rid of the friendships or the people in your life because they may be family members. But I encourage you to use this moments when you're not okay to kind of remove yourself from these situations. Take a break from these people. Taking a break from social media. I think social media, when we're not okay, feeds into that. Sometimes there's great moments of, it could feed in a positive way, but there's a lot of negative on that as well. So again, knowing yourself, knowing how you roll. Is it that you may need to get off of social media for a bit? Is it that you need to remove yourself from triggers? And I know that we can't remove ourselves from all triggers, from all stressors. I mean, if you can, that's great, but do it as best as possible, knowing that what you can remove, when you can't control. Because in these moments when you're not okay, the only thing you can't control is your emotions to some degree, but what you 100% can control is how you react to everything in your life. So things that trigger you, things that stress you, and when you're not okay, it's sometimes harder to control your reaction. It's something you can control because it's 100% a choice one way or another. But why give yourself these moments of, let's test how well I can control my reactions when I'm already not okay? So I encourage you again in these moments to remove those stressors, remove the triggers as best as possible. So you have the capacity to control your reactions. You have the capacity to control your capacity, control your diet. This is also a moment of self-care, making your self-care a priority, whether it's sleep, because oftentimes when you're not okay, we tendency not to sleep, and not sleeping adds on to the stressors in your body. Your body takes on all these emotions. Your energy may be blocked in many different ways. You may be feeling grief, you may be feeling depression, you may be feeling overwhelmed. Your body takes that and it shows up in different ways in your body. It may be that aching back pain that you keep having. It may be that headache. It may be that point in your stomach that keeps feeling off, or you're having digestion issues. All of these emotions that we're going through, things that, have us being not okay with life and struggling, shows up in our body. So when we don't sleep and give our body a chance to repair, rejuvenate, it's just compounding those issues. Exercise is another great way to kind of work through those motions. I use yoga, whether it's yoga, whether it's a Pilates class, whether it is dancing. I love to dance, whether it's doing somatic movement. Moving your body will help you work through these emotions. And I'm saying this because I know that there's scientific proof behind this. I don't need to tell you that because there's this amazing thing called Google where you can go to find out more about this. But it does work. I can tell you from my own experience, when I'm having moments where I'm not okay, I will 100% look up a Kriya, which in Kundalini Yoga is a specific set of exercises that are for a specific reason. So if I'm having issues with inner anger, there's a Kriya for literally inner anger. There's a Kriya for different emotions. And so I will, when I feel like I'm not okay, I'm feeling down, or I feel like I need to be elevated, I will literally look for a Kundalini yoga practice that will help me work through those emotions. Another reason why I hella love Kundalini, because when I'm going through something, I can look and it's almost like creating my own prescription. I'm like, here's the prescription for this situation. Okay, let's get on the mat. Let's work through this physically. Let's work through this through a meditation so I can get to a space and work on myself so I can flow easier, so I can remove the blocks from my life. I can remove the emotions that are physically showing up in my body so I can flow the way that I know that my authentic self loves to flow in that space of comfort, being cozy with me. Again, the only thing you can control is your reactions and to some degree your emotions. And the other part of that is that self-care aspect of what I'm talking about is not focusing on other people. I know I said it. Yeah, I need you not to focus in on other people. One of the best ways that I can get out of not being okay is to not focus in on other people, not needing to be like, oh, I need to help this person. I need to give this information. I need to validate. And it's hard when you're not recognizing that you're in the space of needing to people please and being able to accept that that's where you are. But if you are able to see those things, and even if you're not, bump that, even if you're not able to see those things, when you're not okay, one of the best things you can do in life is to let go of being everything to everyone else to the best of your ability. I recognize that we can't always do that. We can't be like, oh, sorry, kids. Mom is not talking to you until I feel better, okay? Or, job. I know, Karen, you're coming for me, but I'm going to need you to not come for me for a couple more days because I'm not okay. I'm okay with not being okay. But Karen, I'm going to need you to not passively aggressively be all up on me, to come from my neck on a regular basis this week. Okay. Thanks, Karen. No, we're going to have moments where things are going to come towards us. There are moments where we have obligations. There's moments where, yeah, we do need to focus on some other people. But in your best ability of when you can take care of you and remove yourself from spaces, not give as much as you give, because I know a lot of us are overgivers. I look in the mirror and say, hey, I see you, overgiver, but we're in recovery. We're working on it. We're doing better. So I need you in these moments of when you're not okay to see how you can give less. This is a season of giving less. And it's also a season of making time for non-obligation activities. Non-obligation activities. That could be watching Netflix. That could be going for a walk. That could be going to get your favorite food. That could be a dance break. That can be whatever you want it to be. It could be a conversation with your girlfriend. The girlfriend who's not the negative girlfriend, but the girlfriend that makes you laugh, that makes you smile. I have a girlfriend who I love. She lives in Texas. I adore her. And she's who I call when sometimes I'm not okay, because I know when I talk to her, we're going to laugh. We're going to laugh so much that the tears are coming out. I'm going to smile. She lifts me up. And so I appreciate those moments when I have those type of girlfriends. And so finding what are those non-obligation activities where you're not like, where I have to do these things that bring you joy. These are the moments when you want to lean into those so you can flow, period. So recap on your guide to how to be okay with not being okay. First thing is screw the good vibes only and being fake. This is the time to really tap into your emotions, into yourself. This isn't the time to fake, I'm happy, I'm good. It's the time to own what you're feeling. If you don't have a therapist and you know that you're really not okay with being okay, and you're just not working through it the best that you think you can, get a therapist. Talk to someone. There's so many different online therapy sessions that you can go through, whether it's getting a real therapist sitting in front of a virtual therapist, talking to someone, there's a hotline, there's a bunch of different ways, but talk to someone professionally. Don't forget the RAG, recognizing, accepting, and grace. Recognizing that you're in this space, accepting it, which allows you not to be in denial, not to be in resistance to it, so that you can work through it with grace. giving yourself that time of compassion of that, okay, I'm going through this and I'm perfectly imperfect and it's okay that I'm going through this because this is just a season. Making sure you're creating a low diet and you're not filling up your plate with all these different things and you're prioritizing what really needs to be done in this exact moment. You're removing all those stressors and triggers as best to your ability. You're ghosting some of those negative friends. Maybe you're getting off of social media. Maybe you're just taking a weekend of pause just for you. You're adding in your self-care as your highest priority. You're sleeping more. You're doing movement, whether it's yoga, whether it's running, whether it's whatever makes you happy. I love to dance through these moments, but you're moving your body so you can work through that stuck energy that's in your body. And you're controlling what you can, which is your reactions. And more importantly, you're controlling what you can, which is not focusing in on others. You're giving less because you're giving more to yourself. And you're making time for those non-obligatory activities. I hope this helps you because I know it is okay to not be okay because it's a season we all go through. But knowing that it's okay not to be okay and knowing how to get through that are two different things. And so utilize whatever you heard today that resonated with you. Pick that, whether it's everything or one piece. Pick whatever works for you, whatever resonates with you, and start implementing that. You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere because that's the only way you're going to be able to work through this. If you have questions about any of the stuff, or you had things that you're like, oh, this works for me when I'm not okay and I want to share this, hit me up. You can DM me on Instagram. I'm at HelloWell with Danielle. You can email me at Danielle@hellowellwithdanielle.com. I'm here. I'm here. And I say this not jokingly like, oh, I'm here. Come reach out to me. No, I really do mean that. I'm here. This is the collective of healing. I want to see all of us get into a space to where we're feeling comfortable. We're feeling at home with our true identity. Not because you did something, not because you are a certain way, you live in California or you practice yoga. No, you are worthy of being comfortable with your true self and getting past not being okay and flowing into your true essence just because you're you, just because you exist, just because you breathe. I honor you. I see you. I love you. And I'll see you next week. Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.